All right. First and foremost, I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, double honors to Elder's Great Millstone, and salutation to all Yakim on the highways and byways begging to the marriage. I want to start off with Luke chapter 10, verse 18. And he said unto him, I beheld as lightning, as I beheld Satan, as I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven. You know, when you see lightning, what it comes, that's basically Esau's infrastructure. As soon as he got up, as fast as he went up, on top, that's how fast he's gonna go down. And he said unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven. Keep butchering it up, but yeah. But I want to get this, um, talking about his infrastructure. Get another one. Isaiah chapter 14, verse 12 to 14. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? You know, doesn't Esau portray himself as a light bearer? Luciferian, Illuminati. Esau's a hypocrite. He's not an Illuminati. Not to the degree of the real definition of what it means. Esau calls himself this. He's holy. But he's not. He tried to be a pope. He's a wolf in sheep's clothing. He's backward. Esau portray himself all about life, but yet he's killing all life. Esau's adverse. He calls himself all these titles, right? But yet he never follows through on what they mean. He's adverse, trying to be like the Most High. That's adverse. That's not his place to do that. How thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How thou cut down to the ground, which did is weaken the nations. Telling you right here that he's weakening the nations. Can spiritual Satan weaken nations? He can't. Spiritual Satan, there's only so much he can do. He's in the spirit world. You think about it, and you have to have the only wickedness in the world. Gotta have a wicked vessel. And that's Esau, his counterpart. His physical counterpart is still called white man. And that's how Satan gets to these other nations. Spiritual Satan is through him. If Esau wasn't in power right now, you will see less of demonic activity. People growling and all this. Rolling their eyes around their head. All of this is happening because these drugs. Esau. And these demonic possessions people get into, or what happens to them because Esau's in power. He gives these gives these evil spirits power. What you think they do in the Bohemian Grove in California, Hollywood? They sacrifice people. Which didst weaken the nations. For thou hast said in thine heart, I'll ascend into heaven. I'll exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. Basically talking about the stars in the heavens. Space. Also talking about Israel. Wasn't I was on my throne above the stars of the most. Or where Israel counted our stars also. I'll sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. But I was also I was watching this TV show on Netflix. It was talking about the guy. He was an Edomite. It was like a futuristic TV show, sci-fi, and Esau built above the clouds, a building. In the movie, because it was futuristic, no one could die. They were able to bring people back from the dead. By the way it is, like, I think this, it's not, I wouldn't say microchip, but some type of, but yeah, anyway, be able to bring them back into a new body through a chip. And what the guy said that lived, the rich lived on top while the poor people live at the bottom, all slumped, all clumped together. And he said that God is dead. We are the new gods. You know, it's trying to imply that the Most High is not here. Like he doesn't. Esau thinks that this is what Esau thinks, that the Most High is not gonna do nothing to him. Esau's delusional. You know, he doesn't believe in you reap what you sow. He believes in you hit me, this war gonna go on forever. No, it's not. You know, Esau has no faith. He's an atheist. You know, he's a devil. You know, basically. So the scriptures is right on when it said that. For thou hast said in my heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars most high, above the stars of the Most High. I'll sit all upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. And that's what they did in that TV show I was watching. They had buildings in the sky. I will be like the Most High. Hold up. Let me see if I can get it. This is the show. Um, Let me see if I can quote it. That's what he said in the movie. Nah, I don't think they got that. But you know, in the movie. This is what Esau made. These are the buildings, you know. This is what Esau imagines his future would be like, you know. That's the scripture that tell you that he believes his house shall continue forever, you know. When Esau makes these type of TV shows about these buildings reaching up to the heavens, being above the clouds, Esau believes that he's not gonna be taken down. Like he's delusional that he's gonna be able to build up without no type of payment. You know, you're gonna have to pay the Lord somehow. You know, and that's through blood. Because all the wickedness he did, you know, that's what Esau believes, you know. And it's how in his mind. Wait, let me get scripture. The inward thought, yeah. That's Esau. Esau is crazy. Esau imagined his future to be like that TV show I showed. Esau thinks the Lord's gonna let him pass that bound, and no, the Lord's not. You know, Psalm 49:11. The inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. George Washington Street, Washington D.C. Uh, they call their lands after their own names. You know, China. You know, Africa. Esau thinks he owns everything. You know, they all go back to Africana is like I think an Edomite. Wait, let me look it up. I think it was Americanos. Yep, look at this. Cornelius Scipio Africanus was a Roman general, later consul, who have served with the men at Canaan. Yeah, it was an Edomite. Basically, a Roman general, they named him after an Edomite. So you think the scripture is spot on when it says that. So the wicked, how could people be saying Ishmael is the wicked? They're an Edomite. How? This doesn't fit them at all. None of it does. The inward thought that the houses shall continue forever. When Esau makes these sci-fi shows about the future, flying cars, and building up to the skies, this is what he imagined his houses he shall continue forever. You think the Most High is dead. The reason why Esau thinks that is because all the wickedness that's on the earth, he thinks the Lord ain't seeing anything. He's not gonna do nothing about it. That's why Esau says that. God is, in the TV show I was watching, he said that in the building up to the sky, and it was in the future. Esau thinks. Also in the TV show I showed you guys, Carbon something. They travel to different planets. So this is Esau's mind is that he's gonna be able to fly different. No, Esau. No, Esau lives in a dream. I'm gonna get another scripture. Job 14:15. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. So his bounds has been appointed. He's not gonna pass. He's not going on. He's not going beyond this. This is the end for him. No flying cars. No none of that. It's coming. Esau's he's a delusional. I'm gonna get the definition. Based on having a faulty judgment, mistaken. This characterized by or holding idiosyncratic beliefs or impressions that are contradicted by reality or rational argument, typically as a symptom of mental disorder. That's Esau. He has a mental disorder. Esau. By believing outrageous things. So Esau's delusional. He's deceiving himself. Esau believes that he's gonna go beyond what he no. Let me get this. Let me just try to get delete the ones I already have brought out. Alright. So I want to get this video. This is a good video. I'm going to show. Alright.
The new normal disaster will end in mental and economic depression America has ever seen. Not only is the economy in a manipulated stranglehold, but our fellow men and women are suffering with great emotional, mental stress, and mental health issues. Depression is on the rise just as much as unemployment. Suicide and drug overdoses have been killing Americans at a parabolic pace before the pandemic hit our shores. And now, with this economic disaster, which was predicted by The Simpsons ironically, and cheered on by the loony millionaire celebrities, is now here. Stock market dipped only 100 points or so this week as we lost 2.4 million jobs. Don't look at the stock market.
This is it. This is it. America ain't coming back. We start trying to transition to the market of beast. By shutting down all these jobs and separating people so he can starve them out.
Talk to the American people and you will see what's really going on. The biggest mall in America has not paid its $1.4 billion mortgage in 2 months. Tenants not paying their rent. For lease and space available signs are going up all across America. Before this pandemic, this retail apocalypse has been here the last 2 years. And the subprime auto loan crisis at Great Depression levels. Not only that, but a record amount of CEOs stepped down ironically right before the pandemic. Victoria's Secrets is closing a quarter of its stores nationwide in 2020, and there will be more in 2021, because in this new normal, human interaction will be limited. No need for bras. Sex robot shops can't keep up with quarantine demand for human-like AI dolls. Human-to-human connection has disappeared more and more every year. With this fake social media, Facebook and Instagram posts that everybody's life's great and normal, as loneliness has covered the world. You can't even get a good conversation or someone to look you in the eyes for more than a few seconds without running off. This way of life of being disconnected from people is so bad. Human-to-human contact is an instinct that we all want and need. They have done studies with newborn babies where they deprived a baby from food and nutrients and another from physical touch. The baby with less food but with more physical touch from its mother survived. This is something we all want and need, and is a great business opportunity for the future. I learned this from the book AI China in the New World Order. As we see the shops closing down, Facebook starts planning for permanent remote workers. This new economy will be mainly online as we see largest tech company CEOs made billions amid pandemic. A wealth transfer. We built a great blockchain course explaining the opportunities that will be coming in the future at BitcoinRich.com.
Alright, then everything else is that. Alright, now we're not done. We're talking about Bitcoin.
This culture we live in worships death and destruction, not life, love, and creativity. They don't respect the individual like many cultures throughout history didn't respect the individual. Nothing new under the sun. But now is a time to create. Set your intentions to build something. It's part of the human condition to create, or you can destroy. What new advancements have we really seen with technology? I have only noticed upgrades. Upgrades to computers, cars, but nothing new, nothing original, because the creative spirit has been crushed with conformity. Not only is the economic depression here, but also a huge rise in domestic violence, drug, and alcohol abuse. Ways out of this, for me, is I seek the truth and connect with my God, turn my will over to Him. This works great for me. I've tried a lot of other stuff too, but for serenity and peace, this is the only answer that works. Be kind to one another and create. Meditation has been wonderful for me.
Yeah, this guy sounds like he's reading a script. Yeah, this guy sounds all sketchy. Sounds like someone gave him something to read it from say all this. The way he was talking, hey, that's the way he's, but the America's the finish, Jeremiah 15:23. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations? It's gonna be a desolation too. It's gonna be just like Venezuela. I'm gonna read a little bit on this and go down to the food shortage. Another two. This is 2 days ago too, May 21st, and today's the 23rd. Another 2.4 million Americans filed for unemployment benefits last week. For the 9th week in a row, millions of Americans filed for initial unemployment benefits, even as the economy is beginning to reopen in parts of the country. Layoffs, furloughs have taken hold of the U.S. labor market. Let me just. Another 2.4 million Americans filed for first-time benefits last week on seasonally adjusted basis. The Department of Labor reported on Thursday in total 38.6 million people have filed for initial unemployment aid since mid-March when lockdown began in full force across the country. That corresponds to 23.7% of the March U.S. labor force. Stripping out the seasonal adjustment, which had accounted for a slight increase from the previous week, the number of claims stood at the 2.2 million last week. In normal times, the seasonal adjustments help smooth out the data and provide a clearer picture, but in a crisis such as this one, adjustments can distort what's really going on, said Heldi Shirald, senior economist and director of policy at the Economic Policy Institute. In a rare quirk, claims for the week before, which ended May 9th, were revised down sharply from nearly 3 million to 2.7 million. That's welcome news, but it was expected because of the result of reporting error from Connecticut's Labor Department, which substantially over-reported the number of that state claims from the week prior. Last week, Georgia overtook Kentucky as the state where the highest percentage of March labor force, 39.3%, filed for initial jobless claims. In Kentucky, 38.5% of the workforce has applied for initial unemployment aid. So, look at everybody, everybody's going jobless. The continual job losses suggests layoffs are no longer only happening just because of the economic shutdown, but also because there's more permanent relocation away from jobs that need a lot of face-to-face interaction, said Dutch Bank chief economist Torsten Slok in a note to client. So everybody is losing their job. So Esau is separating people, cut, how's that hammer the horse cut asunder, people are going jobless, 3 million people, I think it's a million. California has the highest number of residents who filed continued claims with nearly 1.8 million, followed by Michigan with more than 1.2 million. So every day, there's a lot of people losing jobs because of this. Esau wants this to happen, Esau trying to shut everything down so he can reboot it with the RFID chip. Think about it. He has to do away with the dollar somehow. This is the only way. Also, he wants to starve people too. You ever watch The Purge? You got these old Edomites watching it from a TV screen about people killing each other and they're smiling. Esau's sick. Esau's spirit's not right, He enjoys that. So best believe Esau is gonna there's gonna come a time where they're gonna be killing each other. And now they're starting with the meat sections. Pork is not even, it's abominable food anyways. It should never been there. Is there actually a meat shortage? Here's what's going with chicken, beef, and pork. This was a day ago. Does meat selection in your local grocery store seem sparser or more expensive than usual? If so, you're not the only one to think so. Many stores across the country are reporting fewer shipments of beef, pork, and chicken after more than a dozen large meat processing facilities have closed their doors in response to the 1,000 workers testing positive for the coronavirus. My thing is, either you're going to shut everything down or just don't do it at all. Because I don't get what is the point of reopening if you're going to just have some places shut down, some opening. Isn't this essential? Is not eating food essential? So why would Esau shut that down? But he'll open up the damn liquor store though. The liquor stores are open, but he's gonna shut down the meat process. Why are there processing facilities anyways? Processed meats for what? All you need to do is chop them up, and that's it. Esau wants to do all this extra stuff, put chemicals in your food, processing facilities. And you process the meat that, come on now. You're putting steroids, needles in them, and then you sell them off. That's what processing plants do. Processing facilities, Esau got saying the liquor stores are essential. I'm thinking to myself, the McDonald's is essential. I see McDonald's open out of any other restaurant. I'm sitting there like, are you serious? So you got to think about what is he doing, because he's not being a devil. No one needs to get, drinking a lot this time. Jake is already gone as it is, and Esau just pushing it. Last month, the Centers for Disease Control Prevention reported nearly 5,000 coronavirus cases throughout 115 meat and poultry processing plants, adding that the closed working conditions pose a higher risk for transmitting COVID-19. Are you serious? Esau's a liar. Esau is a liar. No one's listening though. That's the thing is, people trying to open their gyms up. Someone got arrested for that, but yeah, Esau let 4 pedophiles out of the prison, releasing prisoners. But yeah, the guy got arrested for trying to open up his gym. Esau's backwards. He's supposed to be a God-fearing nation. You know, where's your faith, Esau? Where's your faith? In God we trust. You see it in the back of the dollar bill. He's a liar. He says all these nice things. His word was smooth as butter, but war was in his heart. You think he's thinking about the Most High? Nah. He just says all of that. It's all a scam. It's all a shamble. You know. Smoke and mirrors. Is there actually a shortage of meat in America, and what does it mean for the grocery stores that are waiting to restock their shelves? Here's more information on what we know about the shortage. The meat shortage, the effect on local farmers, and what you can do if you can't find meat in your stores. This story is intended to provide an overview of the situation. Updates from is the coronavirus causing a meat shortage? Grocery store cold cases may not present all the cuts you're used to, but does that mean there's not enough livestock? Not necessarily. The larger facility may have closed, but farmers still have hogs, cattle, and chickens. The issue is that they can't process or sell them while the facilities are closed. Why do you need to process the meats? You don't need to process the meats. All you need to do, right? I heard to kill a chicken. I was watching a video. You slit the throat of the chicken. You know, it, it's quick. It's an easy and it's smooth, easy death. Then you dip the chicken in hot water. Then you pluck it off, pluck the feathers off, and boom, the chicken. Then you have to take the organs out, and that's it. Why do you need to put it into a processing plant? What are you doing to the chickens that are already? Esau is doing all this, putting chemicals on this, putting syringes up inside the chicken, making them beefier. Esau is doing all. You don't need processing plants. I don't know why these facilities are even existed anyways. You know, he's just trying to weaken your immune system. That's all Esau wants. For now, I guess since the facilities aren't open, Esau can't poison you, so the food ain't allowed. Like if he can't poison you, you can't eat the food. Like Esau's a man, the devil. Resulting, for example, in farmers with large pork operations have to cull their hogs, causing food waste. The hogs. According to Vox, one poultry processor says it will have to euthanize 2 million chickens at this time. Keeping excess cattle on the farm doesn't appear to be an issue, according to Guardian. However, the National Cattlemen Beef Association found a study that estimated cattle industry losses will reach 13.6 billion. Yeah, so like Esau is killing all this food. Euthanized 2 million chickens and throwing them away. Not even giving them to the animals at least. I didn't like come on. Esau got problems, man. All this food waste. I remember I've been hearing stories about how some of these restaurants and places be open, but when they close time, they throw all the food. Like Dunkin' Donuts, I'll be like, God damn, man, like throw all this food. John Tyson, chairman of Tyson Foods, yes, the chicken nuggets people, said in blog post that the food supply chain is vulnerable, that millions of pounds of meat will disappear from the supply chain while the meat facilities are closed. Others believe the shutdown won't cause the supply chain to break, but rather cause a strain, albeit a significant one. The CDC stated as a part of its guidelines for reopening the economy that the coronavirus outbreaks in food production plants and other critical industries are crippling communities financially and threatening national food security. Widespread restaurant closings may also play a role, with business completely closing or canceling their orders as far as more people eat at home. A USDA study from 2018 indicated Americans consume 10 ounces of meat per day, which is around 22% higher than the recommended amount. So we eating more food than we have to. I wonder whose fault is that, Esau. You know, Esau got everybody wanting to eat all the time. Got all these delicious commercials. But, you know, you see these commercials, all these burgers in slow motion. But when you come, the expectations are not like that. You know, Esau's playing people. You know, getting people addicted to food. So this is Esau's fault. So which is 22% higher than the recommended amount. Damn, I get why didn't Esau doesn't tell you this type of stuff. You gotta find it on the internet. You know, depending how much you weigh and how active you are, more below on the recommended daily allowance. Big meat processing plants like Tyson Foods, Smithfield Foods, JBS, and Purdue Farms have been affected due to plant closing. For example, Tyson Foods produces approximately 20% of beef, pork, and chicken in the U.S. The Tyson plant in Indiana had nearly 900 coronavirus cases at the beginning of this month, making up 40% of the workforce at the location. At this point, Esau's playing. You know, the police for what about the fire construction workers? You gotta have a lot of interaction with people at some of these jobs, and yet they're still open. You know, or Esau's slowly just trying to chip away at his own economy. You know, trying to make it implode. That location produces 90% of the pork in the U.S. Another Tyson plant in Iowa had more than half of the corona workers test positive for the coronavirus. That plant alone processes around 19,500 hogs per day, which amounts to 5% of the total production in the U.S. So Esau, JBS, which processes 23% of the cattle in the U.S., says it will be impacted for months due to coronavirus, as reported. So Esau is trying to slowly make his economy fall, you know. Like, you know, in inflation, when there's when there's a good that's running low on something, you gotta boost it. You gotta make the price higher. You know, it's called inflation. You know, so you know the meat that you would be buying for $5 is up to 10 or 7 or 8 because Esau shutting down these food facilities or whatever, processing plants, processing facilities. You know, I want to get one more scripture. Uh, Micah 2:10, rise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted, it shall destroy with a sore destruction. You know, and you gotta rise. You know, we're almost out of here. You know, we gotta arise ye and depart, for this is not our rest. You know, being in this wicked kingdom. You know, this Babylon. You know, we're almost out of here. The Lord is slowly destroying this nation. You know, but ultimately it's gonna be by the nuclear missiles. You know. It shall destroy you even with a sword of destruction. You know, I learned that Tyson chicken had rubber in their chicken nuggets. This country will destroy you mentally. You know, your body, the foods you consume. You know, the TV, everything is all built to destroy Jake, distract Jake, or video game, TV, these commercials. We gotta focus on Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. He's almost here. So I want to end it like that. We're almost out of here, Lord's willing, the deployment rate keeps going down, that everything keeps falling. All praise to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Double honor to Elder Great Millstone, and salutation to all Yakim and the Howers and Bowers. Till next time, I say Shalom.